The Silent Watchers. The Observatory in the Shadows. Captain Marcus Blackwood pressed his eye against the telescope's eyepiece, his weathered hand steady despite the bitter cold of the Montana mountains. At 45, Marcus had spent 20 years in military intelligence, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. 3 miles above Earth's atmosphere, barely visible against the star-filled sky, metallic objects moved in perfect formation. "Director Cross, you need to see this," Marcus called softly into his radio. Director Helena Cross climbed the narrow stairs to the observation deck, her breath forming small clouds in the frigid air. At 52, Helena had built the Earth Defense Initiative from nothing, convincing world leaders that humanity needed to prepare for possibilities beyond their atmosphere. Tonight, those possibilities had become reality. The Watchers above. How long have they been there? Helena asked, taking her turn at the telescope. 6 hours confirmed, but our satellites suggest they arrived 3 days ago, Marcus replied, checking his tablet computer. They're using some kind of advanced cloaking technology. We only spotted them because of the gravitational anomalies they're causing. Helena studied the alien craft through the telescope. They were sleek, organic-looking vessels that seemed to flow through space rather than fly. Each ship was roughly the size of a city bus, but their design suggested technology far beyond human understanding. "Are they scanning us?" she asked. Marcus nodded grimly. "Constant energy sweeps. They're cataloging everything, our cities, our military bases, our population centers. But here's the interesting part, they're being very careful to stay undetected. This isn't an invasion force, Helena. These are scouts. The hidden truth. Deep beneath the Colorado Rocky Mountains, in a facility that officially didn't exist, dozens of scientists and military personnel worked around the clock. The Prometheus project had been humanity's greatest secret for 15 years. What the world believed was impossible, this hidden facility had achieved. Marcus and Helena descended into the underground complex through a series of security checkpoints that would make Fort Knox jealous. Each level required different clearances, different biometric scans, different codes that changed every 6 hours. "Status report," Helena commanded as they entered the main operations center. Dr. Nathan Cross, Helena's younger brother and the project's chief scientist, looked up from his computers. His usually calm demeanor showed signs of stress. "The good news is our stealth satellites are working perfectly. The aliens have no idea we're watching them watch us." "And the bad news?" Marcus asked. "They're not alone. Our deep space sensors are picking up at least 12 more ships at the edge of our solar system. This isn't just reconnaissance, they're building a complete intelligence profile of our species." The underestimation. Helena walked to the massive screen displaying Earth from orbit. Red dots marked the locations of known alien surveillance craft, while blue dots showed humanity's hidden defensive positions. To any outside observer, Earth would appear completely helpless. "What's their assessment of us?" she asked. Dr. Cross pulled up intercepted alien communications. The translation software, developed from crashed alien artifacts recovered decades earlier, worked slowly but effectively. Classification: primitive technological species. Threat level: minimal. Estimated time to spacefaring capability: 200 to 300 standard cycles. Military assessment: divided, inefficient, poses no threat to galactic order. Marcus laughed, but there was no humor in it. "They think we're cavemen playing with fire." "Perfect," Helena said. "Let them think that." The sleeping giant. In the deepest level of the facility, behind blast doors that could withstand nuclear weapons, humanity's greatest secret waited in silence. The hangar stretched for miles underground, housing vessels that incorporated technology reverse-engineered from alien artifacts, combined with human innovation and military thinking. Colonel Diana Sharp, the facility's military commander, joined them at the observation window overlooking the hangar. At 38, Diana was the youngest person ever to command such a critical facility, but her record in both conventional and unconventional warfare was flawless. The fleet is ready, she reported. 57 craft, fully operational. Our pilots have been training in simulation for 3 years. Marcus studied the ships below. They didn't look like traditional human spacecraft. These vessels combined alien aesthetics with human military doctrine, sleek and beautiful, but built for war. And they still have no idea we possess this technology? Helena asked. None whatsoever, Dr. Cross confirmed. As far as they know, our most advanced spacecraft can barely reach our own moon. They've classified us as a developing world that won't be ready for galactic contact for centuries. The plan unfolds. Helena gathered her team around a holographic display showing the solar system. The alien surveillance network was clearly visible, a perfect web of observation posts designed to monitor a primitive species. Gentlemen, lady, she began, for 70 years, humanity has wondered if we were alone in the universe. Tonight, we got our answer. But more importantly, tonight we learned something about our visitors, they underestimate us. What are your orders, Director? Colonel Sharp asked. Helena smiled, and it was the smile of a predator. We let them watch. We let them catalog. We let them report back to their superiors that Earth is harmless, primitive, and poses no threat to anyone. And then? Marcus prompted. Then we teach them why you should never underestimate a species that climbed to the top of the food chain on a death world. We show them what happens when you mistake patience for weakness. The Watchers watched. Above them, the alien scouts continued their careful observation of Earth. Their reports would soon reach the Galactic Council, confirming what everyone expected, another primitive world, centuries from being ready for contact, no threat to established galactic order. They had no idea they were being watched and returned by a species that had spent millennia perfecting the art of war. They couldn't imagine that the primitive beings below had already unlocked faster-than-light travel, energy weapons, and defensive systems that would make even the most advanced galactic civilizations pause. Marcus returned to his telescope, but now he wasn't just observing the alien craft, he was studying them, learning their patterns, identifying weaknesses. Earth had been labeled a low threat, and humanity was perfectly content to let their enemies believe that lie. After all, the best predators were the ones their prey never saw coming. The sleeping giant was awakening, and the galaxy had no idea what was about to unfold. First Blood. The Midnight Hunt. Lieutenant Colonel James Morrison crouched in a dense Michigan forest, his enhanced night vision goggles revealing every detail of the moonless night. At 39, Morrison had led special operations across 3 continents, but tonight's mission was unlike anything in his military career. His team of 12 elite soldiers lay hidden among the trees, watching an alien craft hover silently above a small farming community. Target acquired, whispered Sergeant Rita Vasquez through the comm system. Her sniper rifle was trained on the alien vessel, loaded with experimental ammunition designed specifically for extraterrestrial encounters. I count 6 heat signatures inside the craft. Morrison checked his watch, 0247 hours. Intelligence suggested the aliens preferred to conduct their specimen collection during the deepest part of night when humans were most vulnerable. They had no idea that humanity had been tracking their patterns for months. The abduction attempt. The alien scout ship descended toward the isolated farmhouse belonging to the Patterson family. Inside the craft, Research Commander Vector prepared his team for what should be a routine collection mission. Their species, the Zephyrians, had performed thousands of such operations on primitive worlds. Subjects appear to be in deep sleep cycles, reported his assistant. Standard extraction protocols should suffice. Vector nodded his elongated head. According to their intelligence, humans were fragile, slow, and completely unaware of galactic technology. The Galactic Council had classified them as harmless, barely evolved beyond their animal origins. A beam of pale blue light shot down from the craft, surrounding the farmhouse. The aliens intended to lift the entire building and its sleeping occupants into their ship for study. It was a technique they had perfected on dozens of worlds. The trap springs. Light beam activated, Morrison reported to command. Initiating countermeasures now. What the aliens didn't know was that the Patterson family had been evacuated 3 days earlier. The farmhouse now contained sophisticated recording equipment, sensor arrays, and something much more dangerous, a trap. Private Tommy Chen, barely 22 but already a decorated electronics warfare specialist, activated a device that had been reverse-engineered from captured alien technology. The blue extraction beam suddenly flickered and died. What's happening? Vector demanded as his ship's systems began experiencing cascading failures. Unknown interference, Commander. Our extraction array is completely offline. Morrison smiled grimly. Gentlemen, they just learned their first lesson about human technology. Vasquez, light them up. The counterstrike. Sergeant Vasquez's rifle fired a round that should have been impossible by alien understanding of human capabilities. The projectile was guided by microcomputers and powered by exotic matter that Earth's scientists had synthesized from alien artifacts. It struck the scout ship's hull and began eating through their advanced armor like acid through paper. Impossible! Vector shrieked as alarms filled his ship. Primitive species don't possess guided munitions of this sophistication. Morrison's team revealed themselves, rising from concealment with weapons that seemed to bend the laws of physics. Energy rifles crackling with contained lightning, armor that made them move like ghosts, and coordination that spoke of decades of advanced military training. This is Lieutenant Colonel Morrison of Earth Defense Command, he broadcast on frequencies he knew the aliens would understand. You are in violation of Earth's sovereign airspace. Land your vessel immediately and surrender, or we will disable your craft. The desperate escape. Vector's training told him to retreat immediately. Primitive worlds didn't have energy weapons. They didn't have guided ammunition. They certainly didn't have the technology to jam Zephyrian extraction beams. Emergency ascent, he ordered. We need to warn the fleet. But Morrison had anticipated this response. As the alien craft tried to climb toward space, it encountered an invisible barrier of energy that sent it tumbling back toward the ground. Earth's hidden orbital defense satellites had deployed a containment field. Going somewhere? Morrison asked, his voice carrying clearly into the alien ship through their communication systems. The scout craft crashed into a clearing, its hull cracked but intact. Morrison's team surrounded the wreckage with military precision that would have impressed generals from any era of human warfare. The interrogation. Inside the downed vessel, Vector stared at his instruments in disbelief. According to every piece of intelligence the Galactic Council possessed, humans were centuries away from space-based weapons platforms. Yet somehow, these primitives had trapped his advanced scout ship like a fly in a web. Commander, his assistant whispered, the humans are broadcasting a signal. They're speaking our language. Morrison's voice filled the alien ship. Commander Vector of the Zephyrian Scout Corps, we know who you are. We know why you're here. We know about your surveillance network, your specimen collection program, and your assessment of humanity as a low-threat species. Vector's multiple hearts began racing. How could they possibly know his name? His mission parameters? His species designation? You have two choices, Morrison continued. Surrender peacefully and answer our questions, or we demonstrate why Earth's threat classification needs immediate revision. The revelation. Private Chen approached the alien craft with a device that shouldn't have existed in human hands, a molecular disruptor that could dissolve their ship's hull at the atomic level. The technology was based on alien science, but improved by human engineering and military application. 30 seconds to decide, Morrison announced. Inside the craft, Vector realized his species had made a catastrophic error in judgment. These weren't primitive beings stumbling around in the dark. These were predators who had been watching, learning, and preparing. We surrender, he transmitted, his voice filled with a fear he had never experienced before. The prisoner. As the alien crew emerged from their damaged ship, Morrison studied them with the eye of a professional soldier. They were tall, graceful beings with technology that was clearly advanced, but their movements spoke of species that had forgotten what it meant to fight for survival. Sergeant Vasquez kept her rifle trained on the aliens while Chen documented everything with recording equipment. Every piece of their technology, every word they spoke, every gesture they made would be analyzed by Earth's best scientists and strategists. Your species classified us as harmless, Morrison told Vector, as human restraint devices, designed specifically for alien physiology, secured the prisoners. That was your first mistake. How? Vector asked, his translator struggling with the concept of humans possessing such advanced capabilities. Morrison smiled, and it was the smile of an apex predator. We've been watching you watch us. We've been listening to your communications, studying your technology, and learning your weaknesses. While you were cataloging us as primitive, we were preparing for war. The message sent. As Morrison's team prepared to transport their prisoners to a secure facility, he knew this moment would change everything. News of this encounter would spread through the galactic community like wildfire. Earth's carefully maintained facade of helplessness was about to crumble. But that was exactly what humanity wanted. For too long, the galaxy had seen Earth as a backwater world full of primitive beings. Tonight, that perception died along with the myth of human weakness. The aliens had come hunting for specimens and instead found themselves captured by the very prey they thought they understood. Morrison looked up at the stars, knowing that somewhere above, other alien scouts were receiving emergency transmissions from the crashed vessel. Soon, they would realize that Earth's classification needed to be changed from low threat to something much more dangerous. The sleeping giant was awakening, and the galaxy was about to learn what happened when you underestimated humanity's capacity for warfare, technology, and most importantly, patience. The hunt had begun, and Earth was no longer the prey. Part 3, The Hunters Become the Hunted. The Space Admiral's Command. Admiral Victoria Sterling stood on the bridge of the ESS Defiance, Earth's first dreadnought-class warship hidden in the asteroid belt beyond Mars. At 47, Victoria had commanded naval operations on every ocean before being secretly transferred to humanity's space fleet 5 years ago. Her steel-gray eyes reflected the stars visible through the bridge's massive viewport as she watched alien surveillance ships patrol Earth's orbital space. "Admiral, we're receiving emergency transmissions from the surface," reported Captain Derek Matthews, her second-in-command. The former submarine captain had adapted to three-dimensional space warfare with the same precision he once used to hunt enemy vessels beneath the waves. Victoria nodded grimly. Morrison's team made contact then. "How are our alien friends reacting?" Engineer Rosa Delacroix looked up from her station, her fingers dancing across controls that combined human intuition with alien technology. "Panic, ma'am. The surveillance ships are broadcasting on all frequencies. They know something went very wrong planetside. The fleet awakens." Deep in the asteroid field, what appeared to be space rocks suddenly came alive. 37 warships deactivated their camouflage systems, revealing sleek vessels that combined human military doctrine with technology decades ahead of anything the galactic community believed possible. The ESS Defiance was the flagship, a kilometer-long behemoth bristling with weapons that could crack moons. Around it, destroyers, cruisers, and fighter squadrons formed up in battle formation with the precision of Earth's greatest naval traditions. "All ships report ready for Operation Revelation," Captain Matthews announced. Victoria smiled coldly. For months, alien scouts had been studying Earth like scientists examining insects under a microscope. Today, the insects were going to bite back. "Signal the fleet," she commanded. "Execute Revelation Protocol. Target priority, capture their command vessels intact. We need their communication equipment and star charts." The trap closes. Above Earth, Surveillance Commander THYSS Ka received increasingly frantic reports from the crashed scout ship. The Zephyrian commander's multiple eyes darted between displays showing impossible readings, humans with energy weapons, orbital defense systems, and worst of all, evidence of faster-than-light communication technology. This must be some kind of mistake, THYSS insisted to his bridge crew. The Galactic Council's assessment was clear: this species won't achieve spaceflight for centuries. Commander, his sensor operator reported with growing fear, I'm detecting massive energy signatures approaching from the outer system. Impossible. There are no space-capable civilizations in this region except Dash. The operator's voice cracked. Sir, they're human vessels. The revelation. The Earth fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel in perfect formation around the alien surveillance network. Victoria watched with satisfaction as panic spread through the enemy ranks. The aliens had been watching Earth for months, never suspecting they were being watched in return. This is Admiral Victoria Sterling of the Earth Defense Fleet, she broadcast on all alien frequencies. You have conducted unauthorized surveillance of our world and attempted abduction of our citizens. Surrender immediately or face the consequences. THYSS stared at his screens in disbelief. 37 human warships surrounded his 12 scout vessels, each one radiating energy signatures that suggested weapons powerful enough to vaporize his entire fleet. How? He whispered. The intelligence report said they were primitive. The hunter's patience. Victoria studied the alien formation through her tactical display. These weren't warships, they were science vessels designed for stealth observation, not combat. Their crews had never expected to face resistance from what they believed was a helpless species. Rosa, what's their weapons capability? She asked. Engineer Delacroix ran her scans. Minimal defensive armaments, Admiral. These ships are built for reconnaissance, not fighting. They're like sheep surrounded by wolves. Captain Matthews leaned forward. Orders, ma'am. Victoria remembered her years hunting submarines in Earth's oceans, the patience required, the careful positioning, the moment when superior tactics overcame superior numbers. Today, humanity was the hunter. Disable their propulsion systems. I want them alive for questioning. The technology gap. The ESS Defiance fired a single pulse from its primary weapon, a directed energy beam that human scientists had perfected after studying alien artifacts for decades. The beam struck THYSS's flagship with surgical precision, completely disabling its engines without breaching the hull. Across the battlefield, Earth's fleet demonstrated technology that should have been impossible. Their weapons were more accurate than anything the galactic community possessed. Their shields absorbed alien defensive fire without even flickering. Their coordination spoke of a military tradition spanning millennia. Sir, THYSS's communications officer reported with growing terror, they're jamming our faster-than-light communications. We can't warn the fleet. Victoria had learned from humanity's greatest naval battles. Always cut the enemy's communications first. Never let them call for reinforcements. Strike hard, strike fast, and leave no avenue for escape. The interrogation begins. Within an hour, every alien surveillance ship was disabled and boarded by human marines. Victoria transferred to THYSS's captured vessel to personally oversee the interrogation. The alien commander sat restrained in his own bridge, surrounded by humans who moved with the confidence of apex predators. Your intelligence about Earth was flawed, Victoria told him, settling into a chair across from the trembling alien. We've been space-capable for longer than you know. We've been watching your surveillance operations for months. That's impossible, THYSS protested. Our scans showed no space-based infrastructure. No orbital installations. No fleet yards. Victoria smiled. Did you scan the asteroid belts? The dark side of our moon. The Lagrange points where gravitational fields create natural hiding spots. The alien's multiple eyes widened as he realized the scope of human deception. You've been hiding your entire space program. For 20 years, Victoria confirmed. We learned long ago that it's better to be underestimated than feared. At least, until the moment you choose to reveal your true strength. The strategic mind. Captain Matthews approached with a data pad containing information extracted from the alien computers. "Admiral, we've downloaded their star charts, fleet positions, and communication protocols. We now know the location of every Galactic Council asset within 50 light-years." Victoria studied the information with the eye of a career military strategist. The aliens had superior numbers across the galaxy, but they had grown complacent. Their fleets were spread across thousands of systems, designed for exploration and policing primitive worlds, not warfare against an enemy that fought back. "Rosa, how long to analyze their technology?" Engineer Delacroix was already deep in study of the alien systems. "Their shields are actually weaker than ours, Admiral. Their weapons are designed for show rather than effectiveness. It's like they've forgotten how to build warships." Because they've never needed to, Victoria realized. When you're the only advanced civilization in your region of space, you stop preparing for real wars. The message sent. Victoria returned to the Defiance's bridge and opened a channel to Earth Defense Command. "Director Cross, Operation Revelation is complete. 37 alien vessels captured intact, 0 human casualties." Helena Cross's voice carried a mixture of satisfaction and concern. "Excellent work, Admiral. What's the enemy's reaction?" "Terror," Victoria replied honestly. "They're realizing that everything they thought they knew about humanity was wrong. Their threat assessment was based on public information while we kept our real capabilities hidden. And now?" Victoria looked out at the captured alien fleet, knowing that this moment would echo across the galaxy. Now they know that Earth isn't a backwater world full of primitives. We're a military power that's been preparing for this confrontation for decades. The new reality. As Earth's fleet escorted their alien prisoners towards secure facilities, Victoria reflected on the larger implications. The galaxy had maintained peace for centuries because no one had challenged the established order. Advanced civilizations dominated primitive ones, and everyone knew their place. Today, that order had shattered. Humanity had revealed itself not as subjects seeking membership in the galactic community, but as equals demanding respect. The aliens who had come to study primitive humans had instead encountered a species that combined advanced technology with the fighting spirit of born predators. The sleeping giant was fully awake now, and the galaxy would never be the same. The hunters had become the hunted, and Earth had announced its presence to the universe in the only language that truly mattered, superior firepower backed by superior tactics. The age of human dominance was about to begin. Part 4, Diplomatic Deception. The Ambassador's Game. Ambassador Lucas Kane adjusted his perfectly tailored suit as his transport approached the massive Galactic Council station orbiting the neutral world of Centauri Prime. At 51, Lucas had spent 30 years in intelligence operations before transitioning to diplomacy, a combination that made him uniquely suited for humanity's most dangerous mission yet. Behind his calm diplomatic exterior lay the mind of a former CIA operative who had orchestrated regime changes and international treaties with equal skill. Today, he would need every lesson learned from decades of espionage and negotiation. "Ambassador," Dr. Patricia Wells whispered beside him, "their bio-readings suggest extreme stress levels among the council members. Word of our fleet actions has reached every major power in the galaxy." Lucas smiled slightly. Patricia's expertise in xenobiology had proven invaluable in reading alien body language and emotional states. "Good. Fear makes for more reasonable negotiations." The Council in crisis. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with panicked conversations in dozens of alien languages. High Counselor Zarthek of the Draconian Empire paced nervously, his usually proud bearing diminished by reports of human military capabilities that defied all previous intelligence. "This is unprecedented," he declared to the assembled representatives. "A primitive world has somehow developed technology that rivals our most advanced civilizations." Counselor Vexera of the Crystalline Collective's multiple crystalline appendages flickered with agitation. "Our surveillance networks have been monitoring Earth for cycles. How did we miss an entire space fleet?" Trade Minister Joel Tan of the Merchant Guild consulted his data pad with growing concern. Economic analysis suggests they've been developing this technology for decades while maintaining the appearance of a pre-spaceflight civilization. The level of strategic deception required is remarkable. The human arrival. When Lucas entered the council chamber, conversation ceased. Every alien eye, sensor, and appendage focused on the human who walked with the confidence of someone representing a major galactic power rather than a primitive, world-seeking membership. Honored counselors, Lucas began, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber's translation systems. I am Ambassador Lucas Kane, representing the United Earth government. I understand there has been some confusion regarding my species' capabilities. High Counselor Zarthek leaned forward, his reptilian features showing barely controlled anger. Ambassador Kane, your people have attacked Galactic Council surveillance operations and captured our vessels. This is an act of war. Lucas raised an eyebrow with practiced diplomatic surprise. Attacked? High Counselor, I believe there's been a misunderstanding. We defended ourselves against unauthorized intrusions into our sovereign space and attempted abductions of our citizens. Surely the Galactic Council supports a species' right to self-defense. The Master Manipulator. General Nathan Pierce, attending via secure hologram from Earth's command center, watched Lucas work with professional admiration. The former CIA operative was deploying psychological warfare techniques perfected over centuries of human diplomacy. Status report from our embedded assets. Pierce asked his aide quietly. Sir, our intelligence indicates 12 council species are reconsidering their alliances. The Krell warrior clans are particularly interested in discussions outside official channels. The Arcturian Federation has requested private meetings. Pierce nodded. Humanity's careful cultivation of alien contacts over the past year was paying dividends. While the Council had seen Earth as harmless, Lucas had been building a network of allies who valued strength and respected cunning. The truth revealed. Dr. Wells activated a holographic display showing Earth's true technological capabilities. The council chamber fell silent as images of human shipyards, orbital installations, and advanced weapon systems filled their view. Counselors, Lucas continued smoothly, Earth has been space-capable for over 2 decades. We chose not to announce our presence until we were confident in our ability to defend our interests. Counselor Vexera's crystalline form pulsed with shock. You've been deceiving the entire galactic community. Deceiving? Lucas's tone carried just the right amount of wounded dignity. We simply chose not to advertise our capabilities while we observed galactic politics and determined the best approach for peaceful coexistence. Your species conducted surveillance operations against us without authorization, Zarthek accused. Lucas smiled coldly. As did yours against us. The difference is, we were more successful at remaining undetected. The power shift. Trade Minister Joel Tan studied the displayed human technology with the calculating eye of a career merchant. Ambassador Kane, these capabilities suggest Earth could be a significant economic and military partner. What are your government's intentions regarding galactic trade and defense agreements? The question hung in the air as every council member realized the implications. Earth wasn't seeking membership as a junior partner, they were negotiating as equals. Our intentions are simple, Lucas replied. Mutual respect, fair trade agreements, and the understanding that Earth's sovereignty is non-negotiable. We're prepared to be valuable allies to those who treat us as such. Dr. Wells monitored alien bioreadings as political calculations raced through various minds. The Galactic Council's power structure, stable for millennia, was shifting in real time. The new alliance. Krell battle chieftain Drakmor stepped forward, his scarred warrior frame radiating approval. The Krell clans respect strength and cunning. Humans have demonstrated both. We propose immediate defense cooperation agreements. Other species began voicing interest in bilateral treaties with Earth, bypassing the traditional council approval process. Lucas had successfully fractured galactic unity by offering individual species what they wanted most, partnership with a rising power. High Counselor, Lucas addressed Zarthek directly, Earth seeks peaceful relations with all galactic civilizations. However, we will not accept surveillance, abduction attempts, or territorial violations. Our response to such actions has been demonstrated. The ultimatum. Zarthek's reptilian features showed the strain of seeing centuries of draconian dominance challenged by upstart humans. What exactly are you proposing, Ambassador? Lucas leaned back in his chair with the confidence of someone holding superior cards. Simple. Earth receives full galactic citizenship with all associated rights and protections. Our territorial claims are recognized. Any future contact with our species follows proper diplomatic protocols. And if we refuse? Vexera asked. Then you continue dealing with a species that prefers to operate from the shadows rather than in the open. Lucas's smile was purely predatory. I think recent events have shown that approach hasn't worked well for anyone. Dr. Wells watched alien stress levels spike as the implications became clear. Earth wasn't just demanding membership, they were dictating terms from a position of strength. The final gambit. General Pierce's voice came through Lucas's earpiece. Ambassador, our deep space sensors show 3 major alien fleets moving toward our borders. Time to play our final card. Lucas nodded slightly and activated his own holographic display. Images of Earth's true fleet capabilities filled the chamber, not just the ships that had captured the surveillance network, but hundreds of vessels hidden throughout human space. Counselors, he announced, I should mention that Earth's recent defensive actions represented approximately 10% of our total fleet strength. We've been quite busy during our supposed primitive phase. The chamber erupted in shocked conversations as alien leaders realized they weren't just facing a single powerful fleet, but an entire military infrastructure that had been developing in secret for decades. The new reality. High Counselor Zarthek finally spoke into the chaos. Ambassador Kane, it appears we have significantly underestimated your species' capabilities and intentions. A common mistake, Lucas replied pleasantly. We found that beings tend to see what they expect to see rather than what's actually there. Trade Minister Joeltan was already calculating new economic projections. The Merchant Guild would like to discuss exclusive trade agreements with Earth. As would the Krell clans regarding military cooperation, Drakmore added. Lucas watched with satisfaction as the galactic power structure realigned itself around Earth's revealed strength. Decades of careful planning, strategic deception, and patient preparation had culminated in this moment. The conclusion. Counselors, Lucas said, standing to address the assembly, Earth looks forward to productive relationships with all galactic civilizations. We hope our entrance into the galactic community marks the beginning of a new era of cooperation and mutual respect. As he prepared to leave, knowing that formal agreements would follow within days, Lucas reflected on humanity's greatest victory. They hadn't conquered the galaxy through warfare, they had outmaneuvered it through superior strategy, patience, and the kind of long-term thinking that had made humans the apex predators of their own world. The sleeping giant was no longer sleeping, and the galaxy would never again make the mistake of underestimating humanity's capacity for strategic deception, technological innovation, and diplomatic cunning. Earth had arrived, and the universe would never be the same. The end.